This is Anne Marie Turan Barrera with her delivery outline. Today is November 12th, 2012. For my thesis, I have chosen becoming an entrepreneur and important information that entrepreneurs or prospective entrepreneurs need to know in order to run a successful business. This is my delivery outline. Let's begin. How many new businesses, or relatively new businesses, that you know that have folded within the first several years of being in service? According to a study done by Inc.com, nearly 80% of new businesses fold within the first 5 years. That is an astounding rate. Many new entrepreneurs make simple but avoidable mistakes, and by understanding these mistakes, they can put steps in place to ensure that they don't make these same mistakes that many other entrepreneurs make, and ensure that they're going to run a successful business. Some common mistakes that are made by new entrepreneurs include the following: rushing into the business without proper research or education. You really need to make sure that you have these two important parts of becoming an entrepreneur. It's vital. Poor business practices, such as expecting a customer to find you, cannot or will not adapt to certain changes in the environment or in the business that they're working in. Not picking a profitable business is probably the number one mistake that new entrepreneurs make. Not knowing when to cut their losses and get out of business is also a very big mistake. Let's examine these mistakes closely. Improper education or research. Just because you have the desire to become an entrepreneur doesn't mean you should be an entrepreneur. In order to become an entrepreneur, you really should have education in some of the following backgrounds. Of course, you should know how to be an entrepreneur. There are classes that you can take to become an entrepreneur. Accounting. Who is going to take care of your accounting? Your finances, the most important part of your business itself. Your marketing. You have to make sure that people know that you're out there. And of course, management. You really need to know how to manage your company to ensure that it's successful. Rushing into a business is asking for disaster. You need to take time. Proper research must be done in order to make sure that you ask yourself the right questions to make sure that you are getting into a business that's right for you. Questions like, what kind of business will I have? What will the name of my business be? Is the business I want a profitable one? Will I have employees? Or will I run it myself? Will I handle my finances, or will I hire a company outside to handle my finances? Where will I buy my supplies? And of course, the biggest question is, do I leave my current stable job to run my own business, or take a chance in running my own business? These aren't the only mistakes that people make. Poor business practices are also very big mistakes. Entrepreneurs must be able and willing to do anything for their business. Common poor business practices include the following: undercharging or overcharging for their products. Poor customer service. Customers are always right. That's the number one rule. You have to be able to willing to work with a customer. Not properly marketing your product. You have to be able to let people know that your product is there and why your product is unique. And of course, poor strategic planning. This is very pertinent. You have to be able to strategically plan in the short term and in the long term. Ensuring your presence is known is vital for any type of business. With technology the way that it is, social media is huge out there, and you should be able to use social media to your advantage. The internet is the number one way of getting your business known and out there. Other places include radio, TV, magazines, newspapers, and of course there's the word of mouth. If you are not willing to adapt or change to factors that may happen or arise during your business, that is a crucial mistake that many entrepreneurs make. I have a deli down the road from me. He's been in business for many years. He now has been faced with a problem that he needs to figure out what he's going to do. 7-Eleven, a major chain, has now set up shop directly across the street from his deli. He now has to ask himself, what do I need to do to ensure that my customers will continue coming to my store? If you do not pick a product or a business that is going to be profitable for you, then there's no point in going into the business. You need to make sure you do the proper research to make sure that the product or the service that you're going to be providing is needed. And finally, but most importantly, not knowing when you're not successful and you've given it enough time to make sure that you know that what you're doing is just not working, you have to know when it's time to get out. If you are deep in the hole and you are losing money and you're losing money and you're losing money, then you need to really review things and decide whether it's going to make sense for you to stay in business or if it's time to cut your losses and get out. These are the most common mistakes that entrepreneurs make. To review, as I said in the beginning, 80% of new businesses fold within the first 5 years. Many of these new businesses make avoidable mistakes that can be corrected and steps put in place to avoid them. And by doing this, a new entrepreneur or a prospective entrepreneur can make sure that their business is going to be successful and can be in business for many, many years. Are there any questions?